Hey guys, welcome in, welcome back. I hope you all are doing all right. My name is Brianna, and today is Monday, April 6, 2026, and we have the moon in Sagittarius making a trine to Saturn and Aries. And under this influence, you may feel like your limits are being tested. If so, then you are correct, right? Saturn is the Lord of karma, the Lord of time, and the ruler of the test. And in this energy, Saturn is testing our strength of commitment to a higher purpose, right? Saturn has high standards, and Saturn is like tough love, right? Saturn wants to see us stand up straight. Saturn wants to see us do things by the book, and Saturn doesn't really care about how we feel about it, right? It's like Saturn is that father figure, right? So it's tough love. Saturn is just wanting to see how capable we are of finding, I want to say, balance and resolution in seemingly impossible situations, right? So there's a lot of restriction, there's a lot of pressure to make a choice, and we're in between two possibilities. I have the possibilities card here. So we're in between these two possibilities, right? This way or that way. And like I was saying, there's a lot of pressure, a lot of restriction being placed upon us to choose a path. But Saturn wants us to choose the higher path, right? Saturn wants us to choose soul alignment. But this pressure can be debilitating, right? And there is a possibility that some of us crumble underneath this pressure and just resort to old ways of thinking, old ways of doing, old ways of expressing, right? So I did pull some cards here, you guys, and the Tower is the first card that came out. The Tower talks about purification through fire, its destruction for liberation and upheaval, right? This is the energy, a structure that has been built up. I feel like this is more internal than external since we're talking about the moon. An internal structure that has been built up. It could be a pattern, like I said, like a way of feeling, thinking, and doing an old way. This pressure is intended to destroy whatever this limitation is, right? Make it so that it's not an option anymore, right? It's not a pathway that we can choose to express our energy down anymore. And we do this by, like, this tower explodes. The tower explodes through choice, right? The next card that we have out is the King of Swords. So it's like, how can we navigate this tower gracefully in a way that our integrity is still intact, right? We do it through embodying the King of Swords energy. The King of Swords is Mercurial energy. He's the highest mind. He's clear thinking. He's insight and action. He's access to all information. So he has an overview of lower dimensions. He can see what's going on. He is detachment, emotional detachment. So it's like detaching from your emotions to a degree, not fully, right? Because we still want to feel. The next card out is the moon. So I feel like it's detaching from lower forms of feeling, which is going to be like those subconscious energies stored within the moon. So our moon is in a trine with Saturn and Aries, right? So the moon, how can I say this? So the energies stored within our moon, right? Our emotional subconscious are in communication with Saturn. And this communication is all about Sagittarius, right? The path, what we're ready to align with, our direction, right? So our moon is communicating with Aries about the path. How do we rein in our moon energies so that we can make right choices? We do it by embodying the King of Swords energy, right? So it's emotional detachment. But like I said, we don't want to attach from our emotions fully. We just want to detach from these lower forms of feeling. So I'm being like pulled back into the past when I look at this moon card. So there may be like pressure to revert, right? To go back to old ways. Make yourself small. You've been growing, evolving, expanding so much, but there's a pressure to contract. So we navigate the tower by choosing to make head over heart decisions and detaching from lower forms of emotion, right? Which are going to be those subconscious energies stored within our moon. Let's go back to the moon just really quickly. The moon is in Sagittarius, right? And the moon, we always talk about how the moon is a liability because the moon is the storehouse for all of our emotional programming, right? So Sagittarius in the tarot is Temperance, and Temperance comes after the Death card in the tarot, right? And Temperance talks about healing of one's consciousness. It's like revival after death. It's like resurrection, rising up from what destroyed you and moving on into a state of restoration, healing, and peace. Temperance is not the last stop, right? Temperance is more of like this checkpoint for alchemy and gathering strength so that we can carry on. So there may be some alchemy needed here with the moon energy. We may have to rest, restore, heal our consciousness before moving forward, right? Gather strength so that we can make right choices, because we are at a crossroads with the Two of Wands here. There's a crossroads. Which way are you going to go? Back to the past or into the future? The last card to come out is the Ten of Pentacles, right? Completion, results, rewards, inheritance. And the card that came out to clarify the Ten of Pentacles is the North Node. The North Node is your soul's aspiration. It's your higher purpose, right? Your higher calling. It represents your future, your destiny, your fulfillment. It's the contract that your soul signed, right? Saying, I'm gonna do this thing, right? This is the main theme of my life. Once all of the karma has been taken care of, right? The North Node leads to soul satisfaction. It's like a reward. It's your inheritance, right? So all of this is not for nothing, you guys. It's true that Saturn makes us work really hard for it. Saturn has really high standards, right? He wants to make sure that each of us are fit to serve, right? In order for us to be fit to serve, we have to get rid of all of these limitations and liabilities, the liabilities of the moon, right? So our loyalties are being tested, but it's for everything, right? It's for it all, right? Results, rewards, legacy. This is for your inheritance, the results and rewards of all of your hard work, right? All of the work you've done over the past several years. And many of us are preparing to reap what we've sown, and for some of us, the results are huge, as in like a new family tree. This is like generational, right? Legacy, I mentioned that it's something that will carry over for generations. You've done a lot of work to heal your personal lineage, right? You get a new family tree because you've done this work to heal your emotional subconscious. It's like upgrading your DNA. Now what you pass on to your children, it's not going to be what's been passed on to you, right? So you get a new family tree, and that comes with resources, right? The last card here that I'm going to take is this homecoming card. It says, feeling at home. So you're returning home, whether it be with a person, a place, an environment, or a state of feeling, right? Feeling comfortable. It says a person, environment, or experience will help you feel completely comfortable and at ease. You may be reconnecting with yourself after a period of feeling out of sorts. So this is about stability, contentment, a new foundation, celebration, and relaxation. Okay, I lied. This is not the last card. We have two more cards here, which are surrender, trust the process, allow this situation to unfold organically. The wheel of life is turning, ushering an end of an old cycle and birthing a new one. So I feel like that's more about this tower energy. The tower also talks about releasing resistance and accepting upheaval. It's like if everything around you is blowing up in flames and fire, then just sitting calmly, trusting that the flames are burning away restriction and limitation. And then we have garden, right? Nurture yourself with intentional acts of self-care, and your inner garden will flourish, allowing you to pour into your loved ones and creative projects with abundance. So, trust the process. Trust the process. Nurture yourself. There's a permanent ending occurring in this energy, but not without your choice, right? Your choice to go either this way or that way. Decide with the King of Swords, insight and action. Use what you know to make a choice, a final choice. And this choice is going to be like the final blow, right? The final blow that ignites the tower. And I don't know, I want to say it completely destroys an old pathway, right? This pathway is destroyed. You can't flow your life force down that pathway anymore. There's only one option remaining, and it's soul purpose, destiny, fulfillment, and like North Node energy. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, you guys. Thank you all so much for being here, and I'll see you on the next one.